Hello, everyone. My name is Maria Teresa Tatto. I am the Southwest Borderlands Professor of Comparative Education at Arizona State University. And this is a presentation of the book I edited with my students called Empowering Teachers for Equitable and Sustainable Education, Action Research, Teacher Agency, and Online Community. I hope you enjoy this presentation. This is a quick agenda. We first talk about global and local demands on teachers, making a case for the importance of professional development and the importance of action research as well. We share with you the structure and the goals of the Masters in Education in the Global Education Program, which is what the book is about. And then we reach a conclusion and we'll present the new book covers and authors. Global and local demands on teachers. This, a quote from UNESCO Sustainable Development Goals, says that teachers are the key to achieving all of the Sustainable Development Goal 4 targets, and that they require urgent attention because the equity gap in education is exacerbated by the shortage and uneven distribution of professionally trained teachers, especially in disadvantaged areas. As teachers are fundamental for guaranteeing quality education, teachers and educators should be empowered, adequately recruited and remunerated, motivated, professionally qualified, and supported within well-resourced, efficient, and effectively governed systems. We witnessed during COVID that it was painfully apparent that while the importance of teachers was restated, we also witnessed the limited opportunities to learn ICT they have had and the lack of infrastructure existing in schools that could support them. Teachers must provide their pupils with equitable opportunities to learn. Equity and justice are ongoing concerns, yet they are working within organizations that promote structural inequities. Teachers must comply with accountability demands, which in many contexts are discouraging teachers from entering or staying in the profession. As professionals, teachers must become resourceful to advocate for themselves and their pupils. But how? I suggest, and in the book we suggest, this can be done through action research. So this is our argument. Teachers must develop the essential capacity to learn how to engage in action research, to produce substantial evidence to alter, challenge, form, and inform policy. If carefully developed, digitalization strategies can prepare teachers to learn, implement, and disseminate action research, capture and support experiences of resistance and resilience, and help them develop a profound commitment to good teaching, productive learning, and equity. We also say that teacher education and teacher professional development are misaligned, creating what is a preventable void that must be bridged by enabling teachers to continue their learning after graduation and during the early years of their careers. They must experience transformational learning through action research. So action research is really nothing new. It has a long history, especially as concerns the preparation of teachers. Urging teachers to engage in action research is nothing new, defined as a systematic form of investigation undertaken by teachers to solve problems and improve professional practices in their classrooms. Dewey was one of the most consistent proponents when discussing the sources of a science of education. Many others have followed. Educators have written helpful guides with impressive list of resources to support such efforts. And educators have historically argued for engaging teachers with action research in their pre-service teacher education programs and as a critical focus in professional development. Scholars, including our own Berliner, have argued that action research is a powerful tool for acquiring knowledge, personal renewal, and social reconstruction. Recent publications continue to illustrate the critical role of action research in facilitating professional learning communities development and teacher efforts to develop research-based education. Segner is another author that has been advocating action research as well. Yet, despite all this advocacy for action research and a plethora of freely available and commercial resources, it is unclear whether, when, and how teachers learn to become researchers, how much they learn, how do they use what they know, and whether this is a sustainable activity. Indeed, while rigorous inquiry-based preparation is a must in many professions, this is a neglected area in teacher preparation in the US and in other countries. And we neglect this essential aspect of the profession at our peril. Often, action research is left as a professional development activity that, at best, affords variable experiences. Learning how to engage and produce systematic knowledge to enact fair practices requires a concentrated period of learning, such as that afforded by a master's degree, where teachers are helped to question long-held assumptions about schooling, teaching, and learning that perpetuate systematic inequalities based on ethnic, gender, language, and race, among others. Teachers must experience culturally sustaining humanistic and transformative learning themselves to understand, produce, and practice. With this motivation, we created a Master's in Education program in Global Education. Our assumptions are that the best approach to engage in culturally sustaining humanistic and transformative learning is by researching challenging issues from a comparative perspective. For example, comparing specific equity and inclusion issues across different countries or contexts to apply these insights locally. We have constructed a master's program that has successfully helped teachers gain and produce knowledge to support the implementation of fair inquiry-oriented practices through action research using transformative learning theory, inquiry-based learning principles, and the Master's in Global Education is a 1.5-year all-online program in which teachers review the literature, learn theoretical framing, develop research designs and data collection methods, develop a research proposal, and implement an action research project. This is an overview of the program, and we wanted to create the book that I'm presenting to you today to share the scholarship of teaching, much in line with what Schulman has called teacher educators and teachers to do. So the program includes a required core. This is a course, the first course they take is Global Thinking in Education. Second course is Inquiry in Global Education. Third course is Evaluating Global Education Policies and Programs. In the fourth course, they explore global issues in the global education research literature. This is in an area or topic of interest to them, as this is going to form the basis for the last project in the program. Then they take a course on how to collect evidence and analyze evidence in global education inquiry. Then the sixth course is Apply Inquiry in Global Education, where they develop a proposal for field research. And the last course is the Culminating Experience, Applied Action Research Project. There are 9 credits of electives. These are from the program special topics: economics of global education, philosophy of education and research, education in the Anthropocene, and then there is an option for online international field work, which is called an internship, as well as electives and special topics offered by the college in online courses, such as bilingual education, early childhood education, curriculum, etc. The program's pedagogy uses the rigorous application of inquiry-based learning principles and progressive recursive feedback. The students progress through the foundation courses from confirmation inquiry to open inquiry. The students are introduced to comparative research and evaluation methods and are guided to engage in carefully crafted assignments that culminate in their final paper for each course. At the same time, they are encouraged to propose an open topic of interest of them, while identifying how it reflects the issues highlighted in the Sustainable Development Goals to explore throughout the program. For example, this is a global problem. There is a global community of teachers struggling with these same issues. As they progress, the pedagogy changes to structured inquiry as the students develop and produce a conceptual review of the literature on their topic of interest. Then the next courses are guided students and what we call guided inquiry pedagogy, helping them learn about measurement and data analysis, develop research instruments or selected published ones, such as questionnaires, observations, and document protocols, and create a full action research proposal. A combination of guided and open inquiry leads students to the GLE 593, which is the culminating research experience. In this course, they do field work, collect their data, and write their final action research report. The final action research report is what you are going to find in the different chapters of this book, which are written by the students themselves. So as a result of engaging in this inquiry-based program, teachers' thinking and acting change significantly, taking on the role of analysts, knowers, and advocates for good teaching, productive learning, and equity in their community. These are secondary but just as important goals. Our students are typically US citizens teaching abroad seeking to obtain a master's degree. The Global Education Program attracts students who are interested in and committed to international education. All of those students who work hard get their degrees. While the program emphasizes action research, we do not necessarily expect our students, typically full-time teachers, to become action researchers. The program, however, is highly impactful as it teaches current teachers about inequity issues occurring at a global level. They learn about the UNESCO SDGs and how to read the literature on an issue of interest to them. They learn evaluative thinking, how to read the statistical data, and how to collect and analyze quantitative and qualitative data. They also learn what constitutes high-quality research studies and how to produce one. They learn about research ethics as well. The literature review they produce in their topic of interest provides them with resources to improve their own practice and their students' learning. In conclusion, teacher professional development is often irrelevant to teachers' practices. Equity-oriented inquiry knowledge is rarely taught in per-service teacher education programs, yet it is essential in helping teachers study what they perceive as most valuable to improve their practice and their pupils' learning. And teachers are more than capable of engaging in systematic research and becoming agentic fairness-seeking professionals in spite of what others think. The Masters in Education Global at ASU uses a unique comparative approach, progressive pedagogy, and recurrent feedback, resulting in an 85% graduation rate, and they are still working in schools. This 85% graduation rate is really high, especially for online master's programs. We will continue with our scholarship of teaching to understand what and how our students learn. We are also following our graduates to learn how they use these newly acquired skills and how sustainable they are. Our book presents evidence of teachers learning and agentic actions in their classrooms, schools, and even districts. Time doesn't allow me to present to you the tracking on the performance of our students throughout the courses, but this is part of our database and is included in the book. Here is the cover for the book, edited by Tatto and Brown, one of my students in the program. And here's the table of contents really quickly. The book has 4 parts. In part 1, we introduce the program, the curriculum, and evidence of success. In parts 2 and 3, we have several chapters written by our students. And in part 4, there is the conclusion, equity, sustainability, and the future of teacher education and development. These are the wonderful students who wrote the chapters, and I want to thank them because they are the first cohort of students who enroll in the program, and they help us really reconstruct the program. So I want to thank them for their amazing work, enthusiasm, and for agreeing to publish their chapters in this book. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope that you enjoy the presentation and that you read the book. It's a good example of the scholarship of teaching.